Okay, let's demo the equals method for picture class. So we'll bring in Eclipse, and then what we're going to do is we create instances of picture, and this is like width and height and then some description. And so we create 3 different pictures, 8 by 11, 4 by 6, 4 by 6, and then we're going to define our own equals method. And then we're going to compare P1 to P2 to see if they're equals. And what equality means is whatever we define the equals method to be. So within the equals method, one of the object references is passed in as the argument to the parameter. The other picture we're comparing, we know that from last week that the reference here within the equals method is referred to as this. Okay? And so we've got 3 pictures. We want to compare P1 to P2 and then P2 to P3 and see how they work. Let's go into the picture class and see how it's defined. So we've got a picture class, 3 instance variables. They're instance variables because they do not have the static keyword. We also see that they're private, and that's good practice generally unless you've got a really good reason otherwise. And we've got a 3-arg constructor for initializing those. So width, height, and then content, whatever's in the picture. And then what does it mean for 2 pictures to be equal? And basically, here's how we define what equality is for 2 pictures. And let's walk through this carefully. There's some new things here, and we're not going to be testing on these things when I'm going over in detail, but it's helpful to have a sense of what equals is because we've been using it for weeks in the course. But we're not expecting you to actually implement your own equals method in this course. But it helps to have a little bit of understanding of what's going on. So we've got the argument passed in, the reference to some object, and we're comparing it to this, whichever one was passed in, and we saw that here. This one is referred to within the method as this, and this is whatever is the name of the parameter. And so here we have the parameter, the data type is object, and this is because it's inherited from object, and you could pass to equals the instance of any class in Java, an instance of any class. And so if we want to compare for a picture, what we're going to say is it has to also be a picture. And so what we're checking here with the instance of operator is we're asking the question, is the reference within object an instance of the picture class? If it is an instance of the picture class, then great, we'll do this if statement. If not, we're just saying if it's not an instance of picture, it just simply isn't equal. Okay, so that's the else condition. So once we know object is an instance of picture, basically this is what we need to do to treat it as a picture. And we're familiar with this notation. When we did this for primitive data types, this is called casting. It's casting here too, except we're casting classes. And so more specifically, we're downcasting because picture is inherited from object. Picture is essentially a child of object or farther down the hierarchy. And so now that we know that whatever is in object is an instance of picture, we can safely do this downcast. And so all it is it's the same reference in P as came in an object. It's the exact same reference, the exact same instance is there. But what this is saying is we're treating it as a picture. In other words, we can refer to methods in fields within picture now for this reference. But the content of P is exactly the same as an object. It's the same reference. We're just treating it as a picture rather than as a general object. And so we're doing our comparison. The reference passed in, check the width with this reference width, and say if the width is the same and the height is the same, then we're considering the pictures equal. So basically we're just checking frame size is how this is defined, that we're not using content. And so what defines equals for pictures? We're just saying it's frame size, and even width and height can't be reversed according to this definition, according to this code. So let's go back to picture list. And so P1 inside the method is referred to as this. The argument, P2, is P1 equal to P2? No, because the width and height are different. Is P2 equal to P3? Yes, because the width and height are the same. So if we run our program, we can see family 8x11 not equals to kids 4x6, but these are equal. Okay, so that's an example of an equals method, implementing your own equals method.